Why do we write? Is it out of passion, or necessity, or obligation? Do we write to make sense of the world as it exists? Or do we write to actively create and shape a world around us? Is writing our way of showing the world who we already are? Or is writing our way of understanding who we can be?
We are here tonight to celebrate the work of 26 authors. As many of you know, DU launched a new program this year, One Book, One DU. Over the summer, incoming students read Thomas King's The Truth About Stories, a book that explores how stories shape who we are and how we understand others. And then incoming students responded to a prompt that asked them to consider who they are and how they've changed by an encounter with something unfamiliar. This common reading and writing program is intended to help us reflect on our backgrounds, our values, our identities, so that we can better understand and appreciate how our story intersects with many other stories to create the broader narrative of DU. Students' responses to the prompt, their exploration and examination of that unfamiliar, are on display around this room.
Looking at the poems, essays, graphic arts, and videos that DU students created this year for One Book, One DU, it becomes clear why we write. For these authors did not write out of obligation. They wrote because they had a story to tell. They wrote because these stories matter.
It's okay to fail. It's okay to go through struggle. Even though not all stories were about struggle, a lot cited times of trouble, times of difficulty. And I think that people that are going through a tough time need to be able to have the comfort that it's okay and it will get better. And I think that these people are examples of that, how they may have written about something tragic that happened in their life previously, but here they are at the University of Denver pursuing their educational dreams.
Stories illuminate turning points, revelations, and moments of transformation. The act of telling a story helps us develop and refine a sense of agency.
I think it connects to all classes that we take, honestly, just because we do bring so much to the table as individuals, and we don't often get to delve into that and really explore that. We usually just pursue the future and what issues we're conquering now, and not really thinking about what's happened to us in the past to really form these ideas that we have. So every single class can apply to this. You as an individual always step into a class with your own stories. So it's great, and it applies to everything.
In articulating the perspectives and experiences of others, stories allow us to practice empathy and understanding.
Inclusive excellence is, supposedly a very large factor of the university now. And there's been recent events that have tested that. And no matter what side of it you're on, I think that it's nonetheless important to go back to respecting people and just being a community in general.
These events in general really bring together the whole goal of inclusive excellence, because like I said before, by knowing each other's stories, we'll be able to include each other more because we'll understand each other, and that's something that unfortunately in our world we do struggle with, and that's something we do need to work on, and this is a way to work on it.
Stories show us who we are and who we might be.
In this environment of a university, we all tend to write just to get grades and to pursue the things that we would like to pursue in the future. But this just gives an opportunity to express what makes us human.
There should be more stories shared like this, just simply because everybody has a short story to share, whether they know it or not. And I feel the more stories shared similar to this one, or just any story whatsoever, really would help just people know that they're not alone.
Stories are worth sharing.
Stories should be shared so everyone who hear it gets to know the person better, the person who's telling the story, because stories are what define us, they are what make us who we are.
For me, this is a really educational event. I feel like I walk by people on campus and I see them, but I don't know them, or have conversations with people that are just short, but obviously I don't really get to know them. And so I feel like this is really beneficial to learn more about the community that I've become a part of, and get more educated about what's going on around the world and where people come from.